Welcome back. We have part 3 coming up right now. Let's see, what did I do? I took the movement out, fixed everything up, cleaned the case, the crystal, everything's nice and clean. Hit it with the blaster to remove any dust or lint that might be kicking around. And let me zoom out here a little bit. And what I like to do, I got gloved fingers, gloved hands, pick it up, the movement that is, and drop the case over the top and then flip it over. Simple enough. It's not rocket science. And here is our stem location. We're going to install the stem. We're going to rotate that rotor a few times, and then we're going to regulate this. So what I like to do before I do that is I dip the end of the stem in a little bit of Mobius 8200 and give it a little swirl there. Move it in to lubricate things in case it's a little dry. And there you have it. I'm going to remove this glove because I don't need it anymore. I'm going to test that stem, make sure it's working. I screwed it down, coming back out. And there's our little finger that popped out for releasing the stem. I can feel resistance when I set it, so that means I'm setting the hands. Because this is wound only through the rotor, I think these have relatively short mainsprings. According to Orient, you just give your hand a couple of shakes 10 times and it should put enough energy into that spring to wind it up. I could put this on a watch winder, but I have a watch winder right here. It's called a piece of Rotico, and we can give this a few clicks on that click spring to get some energy into the mainspring, and then we'll regulate it. So we're just gonna turn. I don't know how many it's gonna need to get a good reading on the time grapher. This is another way to indicate that things are working. The click is working, the balance is swinging back and forth. We can go the other way. This will still wind. That's another good sign that it is winding both directions. I can do this for a few minutes. I want to make sure I get a good wind on this to get maximum amplitude out of the balance, so we can at least get an accurate setting for beat error and how accurate this is running in seconds per day. While I'm in here, I'll run around with the Rotico, pick up any dust that I may have collected on the movement, on the case, anywhere I see a spot, I'll give it a nudge. Obviously I'm not going to touch the balance, just give it a quick boop, 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 boop. The only sad thing is the back of this case looks really messed up. It's tore up, just looks very poorly removed last time, if in fact there was a removal. That person may have said, oof, this thing's tight, I'm not going to bother, because it slipped. Now let's get our time grapher and lay that in. I don't know what the lift angle is for this, not quite sure. but here it is in the time grapher. Basically, it's a microphone. It's a microphone counting clicks. I have this set up for 51 degrees of lift angle. I'm not sure what it should be. It's beating at 21,600 beats per hour. Not a high beat rate, but not low, not painfully low. Let me get my glass of water out of the way. I have 248 degrees of amplitude. Now this is at 51 degrees. Let's go look at that real quick. It's run at 18 seconds fast. There's our amplitude, our millisecond beat error. We're going to fix that. And there is our beat rate with lift angle. So let's take care of that beat error first. I don't know which way to move that lever, so we're going to turn it, push it one way, see where it goes. If it's not the right direction, we'll back it up. So we're going to nudge that right there. That was a pretty good nudge, and our beat error obviously changed from 0.3 to 0.7. So I have moved it the wrong way. Let's back it up, or in this case, we did back it up. Let's go forward. Takes a light touch, light touch. Okay, now we're back down to 0.3 where we were before. Let's give it a nudge. One more. There's a bit of movement. Hopefully it showed up. Looks like 0.2 milliseconds, and if we get one more nudge, we might get this down to 0 or 0.1. That might have been too far. Let's find out. That also moves the regulator as well, so we're going to readjust that either way. Yeah, we went a little too far. Let's come back. This is all trial and error type stuff. Let's see. There's a bit of a nudge. Probably not enough. And a lot of times you get the beat error in and it'll start regulating pretty close to accurate. I don't know what the specs are for these. Ah, too far. See that? I know it was too far. Just come back. Each brand, each watch is different. They all have a different feel. Some you gotta lean on, some are just silky smooth as butter. This one's not too bad. I was just a little aggressive. So we have 0.1 milliseconds, plus 4 on the rate. Let that settle a little bit. Obviously this is dial down in that position. And it's running plus 5 seconds, 0.1 millisecond error. Let's slow that down a little bit. Let's see what happens. We're going to come in this direction. We're going to give this a nudge. This is the regulating lever here. Come on. A little stiff, but it did move. And it moved too far. -7. -16. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get this as close as we would like. So let's come back. That might have been too far, but that's okay. We're going to fix that. Our amplitude is up to 243. Seems to be performing admirably, I guess you could call it. Not spectacular, but then again, it's not a spectacularly priced high-end piece. we're going to come back and hopefully just nudge the other way. A very delicate touch. Trial and error. That's all you can do with these. Trial and error. Okay, it's +5, +6, +7. Let's see if we can do better. Why not? I got time. Did I even move it? Probably not. Don't worry, I'm just looking at the time grapher. These are delicate. Come on, just a bit. Oh, look at that. +4. I did move it. So, +1. Ooh, okay. And this is dial up. Let's get a look on the screen. This is dial up. +1, 245 degrees. Our amplitude, our beat error is 0.1. I can live with that. I could mess with this for an hour and maybe not get it to 0 close enough. I'm happy with that. However, this is dial up. Or down, I'm sorry, dial down. Let's do dial up, which is basically rotate our microphone, holding the movement, the watch, and see how it recovers after that positional change. -2, that's not bad. We lost a little bit of amplitude. That's normal. It usually does recover. Sometimes the beat error will be off. But if you notice, the beat error and the amplitude are off from what we had previously. That's to be expected on something like this. Not too bad. That 234 degrees amplitude will probably come up a little bit in time. Who knows? It may not. But +1 second, 0 for dial up. If you wear your watch on the top of your wrist, that's pretty good. I like mine on the palmer side, so I always adjust mine differently. If I have a watch I'm not keeping, then I'll do just like this, and probably leave it at that 0.4 for the dial up. Let's come back around to dial down. And if things are consistent, I may just leave it at that. And I will probably sell this Mako on the board on the private sales forum. I forget what number it is, because I'm not, these aren't my style. I just wanted it to tinker with and play with and figure out what was wrong with it. So I will probably flip this, and I'll post this video along with the sale. And look at this. This is pretty good too. +1. Not too bad. I'm okay with that. Can't expect much else. Given temperature changes, it may change, but it's running very consistently. This watch does not need a service whatsoever. Does not need anything else other than put the case back on, lock it up, and for me, I'm going to sell it. I'm not going to keep it. I'll put it out there. So if anybody is interested, just look for it on the sales forum. I could let you know when it's coming up if anybody's interested. A lot of people like the Orient models. I don't have anything against them. There's our O-ring. I'm just putting in. And I go around with another piece, again, some Rodeco. Rodeco is your friend. It will pick up everything. And if you notice, there's a little shiny coating of silicone grease on the O-ring. You probably don't notice it. It's hard to tell. I can see through the loop that it is. And the only negative about this, here's my blower. The only negative about this is the case back. How chewed up that is. I mean, that thing is just gnawed. But who takes a watch off just to show the back unless it has a clear display case? So there we go. I'm going to run that in by hand and then lock it in. So the proof is in. How does this work? How does this look? That scratch line I cleaned out. It was just a rub line. It didn't really etch the glass at all. I don't even know if this is sapphire. I doubt it. So does it stop at 44, 43 seconds? I hope not. Hopefully I did a good job here. And it's passing through quite nicely. And we can test our crown or stem. Yeah, let's pull this stem, unscrew the stem, crown. There's the first position for quick date setting. Second position, setting the hands. Let's focus. Focus, dummy. So the hands are setting just fine. This crown at the top, at the 2 o'clock position, doesn't do anything until you unwind that, and it'll back out, and then you can change day. Tuesday, second day. Look at that. So that's working. Everything's back to normal. Not a bad looking watch for however these cost. I don't know what these cost new. So let's screw this one down. That'll lock that in so you don't accidentally change your date throughout the day. And then screw down crown goes in. Pretty blue and red. It's not a bad looking timepiece. Not bad at all. There's no scratches on that crystal. The bezel looks good. So I like the beveled crystal too. The bezel is nice. That bevel, it's a nice classy look. So there you have it. A quick fix on something that somebody thought was a real problem. Turns out it was a simple fix. Like I said, a watchmaker could have fixed this in 15-20 minutes. A competent watchmaker. Took me a while because I'm talking and yapping and recording and setting up microscopes and all that happy stuff. So there you have it. Mystery solved.